I can walk to the library.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of He Say.
She say.
And for those of you who are curious, Tiana does not have any ink in her printer at home. She told me that right as we were starting to turn on the show. You probably don't care, but I find it interesting. Tonight, we got a very, very, very interesting show. I'm sure it'll be compelling for those. Can somebody turn their phone down? Because I don't like the sound of my voice that much.
Is it me?
It better not be you. Is it you?
Oh, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, I tried.
This week, we are going to discuss interracial dating. I think this is a provocative topic. Some people feel very strongly about it. So we got some people who know the ins and outs a little better than Tiana. So
I don't even pretend to know.
We're going to go around and let them introduce themselves. I'm going to start with the lady as customary.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shalonda Waller. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Shalonda.
Hey.
And to her left.
Jeremy.
And we have returning.
Yeah, I'm back like I left my keys. Y'all know what time it is. Right?
Say your name, sir.
Oh, Jamal.
That's Jamal. Okay, so we're going to get into that. But before we do that, I want to let you guys know, as always, we want to make the show as interactive as possible. So just because you're not here, we still do want your input and we value it. So be active in the comments and we'll see them and we'll try to incorporate you. And if you feel that strongly or compelled to do so, call in. That number will be up on the screen. The number is 301-278-1293. Okay, before we do that, I want to get into a couple things in the news, right? If those of y'all been on social media at all, have you seen that romper stuff?
Yes.
Like that shit. Can people... I want to know what women feel about that. Would you take a guy seriously who wore a romper? I don't care how he makes it look. I don't care if he's a male model. Would you take him seriously?
I don't. Is it for heterosexual men? Isn't it for gay men? This is the gay man's outfit, correct?
It's not for any man. It's for a child.
Well,
with a
no,
diaper.
they were rompers. They
short
were
sleeve
rompers
onesies.
back in the day. Remember, Mr. Furley and On Three Company. They wore rompers all the time.
No, that was like a pantsuit, right?
That's a romper.
Is that a?
What's
I
a
don't know.
romper?
That was like a one piece.
That was like a one piece.
Not a romper. Like, we're gonna give it a different name,
These
right?
are shorts. These shorts.
Does it snap down
Yeah,
in the
they got
crotch?
snaps in
It's
the
snap in the
crotch.
crotch. It's a onesie.
Yeah, one.
Does it really?
Is it onesie?
Nah,
That's a onesie. If
Oh,
it
does it?
snaps in
Oh.
the crotch. Like,
But I mean, I need female input because I already know how I feel.
No,
It's
I
gonna
wouldn't
sound-
take a man seriously with a romper on.
I mean, I don't care if you're a male model. Like,
No.
here's my thing. If you're gonna follow fashion to that extent, I have to question a little bit your masculinity, just a tiny bit, right? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily masculine to just follow trends for no reason. You don't even know where they're going. You follow them because everybody else doing it. I'm slightly disturbed about where this world is going, actually. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Unless you guys have anything else you want to say about the romper.
it's just a distraction. That's all.
It's-
Something for us to talk about aside from talking about what's really going on.
Okay.
You think
So,
that's what that is?
That's it, man. You know,
Okay.
Trump. I don't know if we talk politics here, but
we
you know,
talk
Trump
anything.
trying to back his way up out of corner right now, and all of
Oh,
a sudden
get
there's
out
a
that
social
corner.
media distraction. So I don't put nothing past the powers that be, man.
You think they
That's
put the
I
romper
think
around?
They
it's
do
more-
anything.
I think it's more along the lines of fashion, and it's just everything gets gayer by the day. Not
Right.
trying to be homophobic, but
I mean,
if you look
it's-
at
I
it,
mean, it is what it is.
I wish we would have.
I'm assuming it was a gay man's outfit.
Right.
They might not have lasted so long.
Right. Well, I mean,
I assumed it was a gay man's outfit. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
because every man that I've seen, people sharing pictures, the man's gay. Like, it's not no heterosexual man taking no pictures, posing with his chest and all
And
that.
they do be in groups too. It'd be like 4 or 5 of them. So
But they're models.
There
It's
might be
models,
some.
right?
I mean,
Real models
is there any
Yeah.
circumstance?
Mhm.
Is there any circumstance that in which you would give a guy a pass? Where,
No.
to wear a romper? No.
No.
Like,
No.
what about around the house?
he took you on a
No.
romantic. He took you on a romantic
That's
getaway
a-
to the Caribbean, and
And he brought a romper with him?
because it's hot. It's hot, and he thinks he's being stylish.
That's more reason not to wear a romper.
That's some shit.
Right.
I'll be very honest. If you ever been to like a store like Nordstrom, right? And this has happened to me before, right? If you go, they got people in there that's supposed to be like fashion, whatever the hell. And these gay guys, because they're with fashion, they try to convince you into buying shit that it might be out your comfort zone, right? However, this one time, this guy recommended this weird, peculiarly peculiarly striped shirt that I did not feel very good about.
Was it because he was gay, or was it because you really didn't like?
Well, okay.
Are you having a hard time taking clothing advice from a gay man?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But I mean, it wasn't exactly my style. I was going to something. I was looking for something. And I talked to him like, I was honest with him, but I wanted him to keep his space. So he did. But he recommended
after he showed you a striped shirt.
But I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I bought the shirt more or less so he could stop talking to me. And I'm gonna tell you what.
Oh my God, he bought the shirt.
That joint went over extremely well. Now, it's actually in the back of my closet. It's going to be used sometime this summer because it worked well. With the shoes that I had, I showed them it. So they got an eye for that. And fashion is their thing. And I guess somewhere there's a guy who's going to wear a romper. He's going to go into Nordstrom and get talked into buying a romper. That's where I draw the line. I wasn't going to buy no goddamn romper. Now, going on to talking about things that actually did happen. Y'all heard about the Pornhub video playing down Union Station, right?
Yes.
No.
I messed up.
Yeah, they have a big old TV.
Oh, you
when
did.
You first go into the entrance, and
it was porn on it?
At high time, 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon on the digital app.
Somebody took over the TV. I mean,
for a few minutes, and nobody. Well, that's what they're thinking. They don't really have an explanation as to why or how it happened as of the time of this article.
I can control my TV with my cell phone. I just think things are just so wide open now, and I just think that they should have probably put better security on.
But they never needed to today, up until then, right?
Well, yeah.
They learned their lesson now.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you feel after a hard day's work, Shalonda?
Yes.
Coming off the train, and you get to hear and see a little bit of porn action. You think that's going to change your evening? Or
after a hard day's work, I'll probably stand there and watch it for a second.
You stand there and watch it, but I mean, not just watch it. Is that going to change? Are you going to dial out after that?
No.
Why not?
What you mean dial out?
Call whoever fulfills that need in the phone.
Oh, no.
That's not going to prompt you to do anything?
No.
That you wouldn't do no ordinary?
No.
I mean, what if your children were with you at the time?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make them unsee
it. I mean,
that's how they got here anyway.
I mean, not through the porn way. I hope not.
What is the porn way?
Yeah.
I'm asking.
The porn way.
That's nothing that you do, right? Nothing the porn.
No, I don't do anything porn way. No.
Tiana, you continue to disappoint with the image that you present on this show.
I don't know anything about porn.
Next story. You guys heard about the Texas man who's suing his date for texting during the Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
No.
You haven't heard about this?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
The man I heard about suing was the one that was suing Zaza over hurting Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this dude, Brandon Vesmar, he filed a petition in small claims court seeking $17.31.
Oh, they should.
It was a first date from hell, he told the newspaper. Brandon Vesmar filed a petition at a small claims court seeking $17.31 in damages. He claimed he spent that much money to take his unidentified date to a 3D showing of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on May 6th, he told the Austin American-Statesman. After the movie started, the defendant activated her phone at least 10 to 20 times in 15 minutes to read and send text messages in direct violation of the theater's policy, his petition states. Vesmar accused his date of adversely affecting the viewing experience of moviegoers. While damages sought are modest, the principle is important as the defendant's behavior is a threat to a civilized society, his petition says. Vesmar told the newspaper that he met the woman online and that was their first date. Quote, "It was kind of a first date from hell," he said, adding the texting at the movies like one of my biggest pet peeves. The woman who asked the paper not to use her name says she was texting a friend who needed her, which is some typical female bullshit. And I don't think she needed you that much in the middle of the movie.
So they should probably press some type of charges against him for wasting the court's time.
Yeah, that's frivolous.
Because doesn't it cost more than that to even file?
Yes.
But he has to pay court fees, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if it's worth it to him to do that.
I mean, but that's what you get for taking a female on the first date to the movies.
That has got to be the worst idea.
You don't even. You're not even talking. That's a waste of that 2 hours. You need to be figuring out what she about.
So if you're in the movie,
something afterwards.
First of all, ladies, if you're interested in winning a date with the kid, right? We're not going on the movie to no goddamn first date. First of all, because we're probably not going to a matinee. And once the dark hits, you got to do something with me.
I'd rather go putt-putt and then go to the movies.
Right.
Wait a minute. First of all, can we talk about this man she dodged a bullet?
Yes.
Because if you waste your time taking me to court over a goddamn $17 movie ticket, then I dodge a bullet because something is clearly wrong with that man.
Well, he's 37.
Men.
But I mean, so but you don't think it was more than slightly rude to be texting?
Some men?
Oh, it's definitely rude.
You mean some men, right?
What I said?
Some men are overly sensitive.
Is that what I said?
That's not what you said.
No.
Oh, okay.
You said men have become overly sensitive.
Tiana does that a lot.
I'm just saying thank you.
Last but not least.
Cry baby.
I got a solution. See?
I mean, seriously, you gonna sue me for $17, boy? You better stop.
You wouldn't show up in court?
I would show up in court and make a mockery of that fool.
What? How would that be any different than what you do to guys?
Because he wasted my time and the court's time over a goddamn movie ticket when he could just expressed himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, there's hope for people like Tiana.
Whatever.
Perhaps. Vacation ships. This is a new thing where couples only meet up on the road. Right? For you single ladies, you guys can actually have a relationship with someone that lives in another country, perhaps another state or whatever, and all of your dating will be done at vacation sites. So I don't know if that is supposed to be a good idea for the fact that it seems like fun, but you don't get the consequences. It seems like fun, but you won't get to actually know the person because everything you do is going to be centered around that vacation vibe or whatever. But we find that today, with the advances in technology and such, people are coming up with new creative ways to meet each other, and yet I feel like we are becoming more and more hopeless. So, Tiana, the floor is yours.
Concerning what? A relationship on the road?
The vacation ship. You wouldn't do that?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Because I don't.
It allows you to do your thing here, and we know how popular
I'm already
that is.
doing my thing. I could do my thing when somebody's right next door.
We already know how your social life is popular. So you can still do your thing and get a free
People
trip.
are creating too many ways to have dates and settle down. Like it doesn't take that much.
Actually, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
People are doing
We're a distracted society, so people got to come up with more. It's hard to hold people's attention. Anyway, enough with the boredom. The reason we're here, we're going to talk about interracial dating here, and I want to concentrate on three aspects. First, curiosity. For those of you who are curious, throw any questions in here. Exposure and culture. And I think exposure and culture, those two might overlap. Okay, so I want to start off by asking, anyone can feel free to just jump in and answer this. For those of you who do date outside of your race, did it start off with a curiosity thing? Were you slightly curious, or was it some other reason?
Should we establish who dates outside their race first?
I assume. Well, we know you do. Don't.
Right.
Why you look at me like
I mean,
like I said a bad thing?
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just that
I didn't call you. Whatever. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Let me backtrack. You don't?
I haven't. I'll say that.
Okay. Okay. So you actually did something good here. I assumed that you did. I'm sorry. And Jeremy, Jeremy does. I don't know if he still date, but
I ain't on the market like that. But you know, yeah, my kid's mother's white.
Okay, so another question I'm gonna ask to you towards you, Jamal. Your kid's mother is white, but you're not. Are you currently? What's your situation? Because I want to know. If you're not with her currently, do you date exclusively white?
Okay, to the second part of your question, no.
Okay.
To the first part of your question, we're together. And we're together the way we're together. So.
Okay. Well, shit. All right. That sounds like a rap lyric. Yeah.
Mixtape coming soon.
So how'd that pop off? Was it curiosity? Were you the slightest bit curious?
All right, so
was she the first white woman you were with?
No.
Okay, then he can.
I was corrupted early, and the person might be watching, you know, and that's cool or whatever. But I was taking to Ocean City, and you know, I thought I was going to chill, and the person had some ulterior motives or whatever. So that was my first cherry pop. Nah, it wasn't like that. I mean, the situation with Erin, I'll refer to her by name. She was my homie at work, and you know, 8 hours a day turned into 16 hours a day quick.
Oh wow!
So,
fellas, if you have a woman, let me make that distinction, and you need to go to her office and see who she's working with, because could end up being a dude like Jamal, with a smooth voice trying to steal your woman. And it only takes 15 minutes at lunch.
You ain't got the still nothing.
Fan club.
I don't have no fan club.
It
I
only
ain't
takes
making no
15
noise.
minutes.
I ain't making
So,
no noise.
Shalonda, you do not, or you have not.
I have not.
Is there a reason why?
Yes, because I prefer black men.
The next question naturally would be, how do you know you prefer black men?
Because I'm more attracted to a black man. I want to raise my children with a black man.
Okay. You have children?
I have one son.
So okay. That's important to you. That
Yes.
especially particularly because he's a son, or just?
No,
Okay.
a daughter. I want to instill the black culture and heritage into my children. And I feel like I could do that better with a black teammate as opposed to a white one.
Okay, which leads me to my next question. Do you feel like that's impossible to do if you have a white?
No, it's not impossible. I just think it's harder to do.
Do you?
Because I'm not going to say they don't understand.
No, Jeremy's not saying that. You have to keep looking at him.
I'm not going to say they don't understand, because I think some of them may, but they don't have the same experiences that we do. So I just feel like it will be easier with a black man.
But I mean, if it's just on sheer experience, though, wouldn't you want your children to have the opportunity to have different experiences, not the same struggle story?
Why would you have to have? Why
You're saying like y'all share experiences,
right? So a white person brings non-struggle.
That's not what I said.
She said different experiences.
What she said is, I want them to see, that they have something in common. I don't remember your exact words. We can play back at a later date.
They're watching it from the eyes of a different perspective. Like, I don't think the eyes of a black child can walk the same or look through the same eyes as a white child. I don't think it's the same.
Okay, since we're on that, I'm going to I'm going to move on from you two for a second and ask Jeremy, because he actually does have children. Is that anything that you encounter as a father?
No, I teach them what I know about both cultures. I might not be able to say, hey, I know what it feels like, but in the same frame, maybe I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's what I've been around outside of my family, my real family, what I consider family, mostly is black. That's what I know. That's what I came up around. I see that. You know what I mean? That's what I see. That's what I know.
I think we need to spend some time on that, because anyone that met Jeremy, we honestly we bestow upon him the white black thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I would assume most of your friends are black, right? Yes. Most people you hang out with. So, I mean, you can be around and know, not to experience it. Like, for example, growing up, I had two very, very close white friends. I still do have them, but I mean, and we used to get pulled over a lot because I was in the car. So they knew. They would know. They'd be like, matter of fact, if I left the house with a do-rag on and the cop get behind us, he'd be like, take the damn do-rag off. I mean, they would say it.
But is that the same?
I mean, nothing is the exact same as going through, but they're not blind to it. It's not a limit.
My two sons know that they're brown. Like, they know that they're not white. I mean, and they're 6 and 2. Like, there's no misrepresentation, or they're not under any type of false pretense that they're the same as 94% of the people that go to their school. So, I mean, it's my job to raise my sons, to make sure that their minds are where they need to be. It's not their mom's job, in my opinion. I'm the only one that can save them the effort of making mistakes. So whether she was brown, whether she was Asian, whatever, like, that's my role as long as I'm here. So
y'all raise children together. So why doesn't she have a role?
I didn't say she doesn't have a role, but that's my priority. It's my job to raise my sons, like, to make sure that they know what is acceptable and what's not. Sons run over mothers, right?
No, I have a son.
Uh-oh.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Okay. No, all sons don't run over their mamas. Yeah, and see, that's a misconception. That's another major misconception out here, that Black boys who are raised primarily by their mothers, that they're just out there wilding out. There are a lot of Black women that have a control over their sons.
Control. Yes, love the words.
I mean, when you're a child, it's about control up until you're 18.
But okay, so let's backtrack since we're gonna go along. What can she teach him about being a man, though? A black man.
Well, that's a whole separate question.
Yeah.
But that's what he's teaching.
That's not what he said.
That's
about.
along the
Right,
lines of what he's doing.
He never
though.
said nothing about a black man, though. Those were your words. Jamal never said that I have to teach my men about black men. He just said men.
I mean, Jamal's black.
Well,
he
no,
said they know they're brown. I thought it was implied, but since we're allowed to curse, let's be explicit, Jamal. What were you saying, Jamal? I don't want to speak for you. I can't actually.
So regardless, all right. I didn't have a father growing up. You know what I mean? I had men that stepped in, coaches and and uncles. My mom taught me early that men aren't shit. That's what my mom taught me early, based on there not being a dad in the house and there being no great stories about any man. So what I learned about being a man wasn't learned in the house. It was 100% learned outside of that house.
Was that an influence on you having children by a white woman?
No. I didn't think I could have kids, period. Like, I didn't have my first until I was 28. So.
Try 40.
Try again at 40?
No, that's when I had my first.
Oh, you're tripping.
I ain't tripping. I had to have a carrier first, bro. Look, it started to get too old to have a baby mother I was ashamed of, so I had to wait. that joint out. I want to move. So let's talk about exposure, right? Because I think that's critical.
I agree.
So when I hear a lot of black women like Shalonda, Tiana say they're more attracted, they prefer black men. I want to question, how much exposure do you have to white men?
Not much. Outside of colleagues and men that I work with, but I cannot honestly say that I socialize with white men.
Shalonda?
Yeah, outside of work, I don't have that much exposure to white men. Now, I can't sit here and say that I've never been attracted to a white man, no. But I'm 95% of the time attracted to a black man.
What about Jeremy?
Am I attracted to Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, I think Jeremy's cute.
Uh-huh.
But there's a difference between...
Because we already gave him the white-black thing.
Well, Jeremy invited to the cookout, but...
he has his card. There's a difference between being attracted to someone and actually having attraction for somebody. I mean, I walk around and see attractive white men all the time, but I can't say that they appeal to me. Right. And it could be because my circle is small. It's probably because that I'm not, or haven't allowed myself to be exposed to the white race.
Y'all talk about it like it's the thing the monkey had in the movie, exposed to. Here's my thing. I do not believe that every white person is trying to fuck me up. You know what I mean? Male, female, and all of that. So there's no exposure. Like, you go to Walmart, there's white people there most of the time.
I'm talking about my social circle, though. That's what's in my social circle.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
What I mean by exposure is because...
He's talking about socializing.
I'm just saying,
I don't think you mean actually saying white people.
That's what I mean to say. Because I find a lot of people who find it so taboo don't run in them circles. So if you went to
I find it taboo. It's not taboo. It's about attraction.
Okay. To make my point, I'm gonna ask a question to you two specifically. Do you have a problem with interracial dating?
No, not at all.
Just not for you.
Just not for me.
Depends.
Huh?
Depends.
Depends
on if you meet someone, of the opposite race, and you genuinely fall in love with that person's character and everything. No, I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem with specifically a black man that's dating a white woman because he feels like maybe she's more submissive, or he doesn't want to deal with maybe a black woman's attitude, or maybe they just deal with things not in a better way, but they deal with more things than a black. Yeah, they're way more passive than a black woman would.
I don't think so.
I'm about to say, are they? I think people have different ways.
I think it's a misconception.
I think they have different ways.
I really don't think there's a difference, because if you
still a woman,
you can read every day, you're gonna see a black woman putting up with the same shit. She going back every time.
That's true.
So she putting up with the
That's
same
true.
shit.
That's true. That's
But
true.
they might be a little more louder about it. That's about it.
Which makes them look foolish when they go back, right?
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, that's real.
true.
I mean,
agree
listen,
with
my
that.
uncle
I
told
agree
me
with
this. If you're looking for a woman that don't complain, good luck. It's still a
Yeah.
woman. That's what's gonna happen. It's still a woman. She's gonna have some of the same things that go on. But what I meant by exposure, that's why I asked the question. Because, like, for example, if you went to predominantly white schools growing up, I mean, I don't think you would see anything wrong with dating a white person
I don't
or
agree
marrying a
with
white.
that.
Huh?
I don't agree with that.
Why not? I mean, that's the culture you're used to. Like
No, I don't. For me, it's not about the culture I'm used to. It's about my culture. I'm black.
But you're gonna be black.
Yes, I am.
Forever.
Yeah.
No matter who you
I
marry
want
or
my children to be black.
My children are black.
Yeah, if
My children
Oh,
are
my-
black too. If society
children
tell
are
you,
black.
yeah, you always
and that's a
society
shot
tells
against
you.
me if I look at it, because I do a hell of a job with being a dad. Like, yeah, I'm there. Like, every day, I do everything. I do everything with my kids. Like, I do the homework. I do the sports. I do the coaching. I do everything. Like, I'm home early. I'm there with them off the bus. You know what I mean? My wife, she comes home. She does what she needs to do, but I'm there. You know what I mean? So they understand. They identify themselves as black, but at the same time, they know they're biracial. I mean, they're very close to my parents. My parents are very close to my kids. They, it's my thing is the interracial dating thing is like no big deal to me. Like, I don't even look at it. Like, there's not even a title. It doesn't mean anything to me.
But,
I have not been out with a woman of my race in 22 years, 24 years. I have not dated or seen a woman
Can we ask
of my
why?
race.
I'm curious to know why.
And if you could expound a little bit on your background, like where you grew up
Yeah.
and stuff, I think that might help.
Well, the circle I ran in, there wasn't
Jeremy, real
Right.
quick, can you bring the mic a little closer to yourself? Yeah, Trav.
the circle I ran in. There wasn't anywhere I went. Really wasn't any white girls, and I might feel the same way as Tiana.
I was just
see
about to
white girls
ask you,
that
how are you
attractive.
any different than me? Because if he's saying that his
Yeah.
circle is predominantly black, then his attraction is going to be towards
Right, I see
mean,
white
it's no
girls that
different.
appeal to me, but
Right.
I mean, I think they're attractive, but I couldn't see myself connecting
That's what I'm saying.
with them. I
Mhm.
mean, that's just, I don't know. I think the last time I went out with a white girl in like 11th grade, and we went to the movies. And I should have sued her for $17.31.
Let me ask you this question, going back to what Shalonda talked about. So it sounds like you guys are on two totally opposite ends of the spectrum, where you will date any complexion of woman, and it sounds like you predominantly exclusively date or attracted to, because you're taken, but
Right.
you are exclusively attracted to
I wouldn't
women of
say
color.
attracted to. I'm attracted to all women. I think all women are
Okay.
beautiful, but yes, my
Your
preference
preference.
would be to be with a black woman. That would be
Now-
my preference.
Shalonda, is your issue fetishizing it when black guys do that?
Fetish?
When they make it like because they don't necessarily or have not been with a white woman, they're making it like it's a special experience, or they've been with
Why
one.
can't she
No.
just not be attracted to a white man? Like, why does it have
No,
to?
I'm asking her why she has a problem when she was describing black men dating white women and the differences. Do you think black men fetishize dating a woman of another race? And also for this interracial thing, because I have to make
I
make
think
this
those
clear.
men are typically broken. I think they got mama issues. I think they probably
Damn,
been
I
we-
beaten.
didn't
Hold
wanna-
on, hold on,
I was-
hold on, hold on.
I
I
think-
was gonna go in.
I think-
Hold on. I just zoned out for a second. I missed the first
I
part
saw
of that.
you
Can you run
blinking.
that back real
I
quick?
snapped you back with the mama issues though.
Everybody has mother issues. Everybody in this room, everybody that's listening, everybody that's typing right now has mother issues of some sort.
My issue with my mother, I love her a little bit too much.
I'll tell y'all straight like this. To my knowledge, I've been with 3 white women.
to my knowledge that you're gonna remember, you stupid.
Between 2004 and 2008, it was wild. But I know 3, and I'm pretty confident in that number. There, in the whole scheme of things, that is a very small percentage. Like, there was nothing exclusive about me running in that direction or nothing like that. Like, had she not tried to be my friend, we wouldn't have kids right now. If she would have been like the other chicks in that call center, she would have got it like the other chicks in that call center, and that would have been that. So,
this interracial thing, it seems like we focus on black and white. Do you have a problem with any other race?
So I
Or were
was
you
so
interested in?
I have an awful thing to repeat that someone else said to me. I actually
Okay.
have a friend that actually said that we were having a conversation about Dominican and Puerto Rican. She actually looked at somebody calling them Dominican. I said, no, I think they're Puerto Rican. She was like, oh, nothing else is important but black and white. Everything else just kind of fall in between.
Okay.
So with saying that, I just think that it's always going to be a primarily issue with black and white. I just think all the other races just.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
But are Dominicans black, or are they just?
Well, they don't. A lot of them don't think of
Dominicans are
themselves. They don't
Dominican.
consider themselves.
they share an island with Haiti. They black.
But they don't.
I
They
mean,
they're
my thing
white
is,
though. Dominicans
are
are
there
white.
black and white Latinos?
Yes.
Are like
Yeah.
you from Spain? You're
You got
white,
Ricky
pretty much.
Ricardo,
You be a
who was
white-
like a white Cuban,
right.
and then you have.
Well,
I
they
can't
have
think of no
the.
black
Interestingly
people.
enough, they have the same struggles with black and white.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like
That's what I was-
and then usually because of through where it is, like especially the ones in the Caribbean, that's the reason. If you got any color or any color, you probably was part of the slave trade. So stratification socially is usually based on color. And right now, Dominicans, well, up until a little while ago, they were kicking all the darker ones into Haiti because they could not tell, because the Haitians were coming over there and taking jobs because they do share a border with Haiti, and they were coming over there doing the cheaper labor at a rate lower than the Dominicans were willing to do it. So they got
What
some
that
new
sound
government
like?
or whatever. So those problems go.
And that was only if they couldn't play baseball.
right. If they couldn't play
Or
baseball.
soccer.
But I'm very interested to know, would you date someone that is Hispanic or Asian? Is it just exclusive to?
No, I really don't think I would date outside of my race at all.
What about outside of your culture?
Outside of my culture,
Meaning African or Jamaican?
yes.
Okay.
My ex-boyfriend was Jamaican.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Puerto Rican.
I don't know. I
Dominican.
really don't think so. I want.
So is it a
In the
complexion
grand-
thing?
It's not really a complexion thing, but in the grand scheme of things, I want I don't think there's enough images out there of a black family, a strong black family. That's what I want for myself. That's what I want for my children. It's not anything against white people. I'm not racist at all, but that's what I want for myself. Like I want the Huxtable life. You know?
You want to
You
leave
heard
in
what
your
happened to
household to be a
Heathcliff.
black man.
You heard what happened to Bill O'Reilly, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, so this whole interracial topic just always throws me for a loop, and I believe it's a little bit more nuanced than people want to make it out to be. And I don't know that people are 100% honest with where a lot of this stuff is coming from. Now, I'm personally going to say I don't have a problem with it. I once held the ideology where I did have a problem with it, but I was much younger then, and then I realized, especially as you get older, after a while, I'm rooting for everybody to be happy.
Mhm.
So the only way, and honestly, I'm just gonna sound really messed up. People are gonna probably think I'm less conscious, and I really don't give a damn about this. But I actually, I think it's a viable option for a lot of black women that are out here single, and the numbers aren't in their favor, to start looking around.
That's a slight on black men. I have an issue with that. I don't think that, to me,
Okay.
that's like,
I didn't mean it for you to be an issue.
I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, I mean, it was your
I
life.
just don't think
asking.
that just because, first of all, we have to start buying into the belief that there aren't any good black men out there. We have to
Right,
start
'cause
buying
there
into
are.
the belief that they're all incarcerated or that they're all gay. We have to stop buying into that belief. So as long as I don't believe that, there's no reason for me to be interested at this point in my life and any other culture. or race than
I'm just
mine.
saying, like, okay, so
And
Yo,
I
they
don't think
jump.
that
They
belief
jumping in the
is
text feed.
I will
as
say
much
this,
as
okay.
y'all think it is, like, coming from my side. Like,
Mhm.
my family doesn't have that belief. You know what I mean? I understand that it's out there, but it's not. I don't think it's as majority as people think it is, as far as, black man ain't shit. Like, they gonna do this.
I
and that.
completely
I
agree with
really
that.
think, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just because I grew up the way that I grew up, my parents cool. I be honest, if we decided we was gonna split, my parents live with us right now, and they've been living with us for a few years. They help us with the kids and all that. If I was to fuck up, you best believe my wife is gonna be with my parents, and I'm gonna be the ass that's out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Facts. I'm in the same situation.
Yeah.
Aaron and my mom talk 10 times more than me and my mom talk. They talk every day, multiple times throughout the day, at least through text messaging. So, yeah, I'm going to be asked out.
Yeah,
Shit ever hit the fan, bro.
So, Jamal, I'm going to ask you a question. I know 2004 to 2008 was not only an election cycle, it was a wild 4 years for you. Any other races?
Wait, I just want to read something that
Okay, go ahead.
Cornelius actually just wrote. He said women outnumber men like 6 to 7 worldwide
6 to 7 to 1.
to 1.
Right.
There's a shortage of men for women, period. Not just black
Which
women.
is what makes my job so hard. Jamal,
What?
67. I mean, look, it's only so much fluid a guy can produce.
You know
Jamal,
Well, I mean, I can't tell the way y'all are passing fluid around.
Yo,
we're only passing what we got, though.
But you
gotta
got to figure
rehydrate.
hold on,
out of
yo.
those 6 to 7 nowadays,
Yeah,
the
about
way
to
these
say,
youngers
yeah.
come up, all of them ain't playing for the same team neither.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
can drop that
yeah,
back to
yeah.
about 3 or 4 to 1 the way they going now.
Have you ever tried being a superhero to somebody?
I am a superhero
To whom?
to the world.
Black girls all over the world.
Yeah.
Listen,
Black
girls
girls
rock.
unite. Black girls unite.
hold on one second. We have a caller. We have a caller. Good evening, caller. He say, she say.
Hi.
Hi. Who
Hi,
is
what's
this?
going on, y'all?
Who is this?
Hey.
It's
Hello.
Tana.
Who?
Tana.
Okay. What's up,
All
Tana?
right. I just want to know, why is it that I feel like
What
the
kind of name
men
is
are
Tana?
getting a pass
Sorry.
for their preference or what they prefer, but when a woman says she has a preference, it's looked at like a prejudice. Now, I want to know what the difference is.
Okay. If you could explain your question a little bit more to me, I think we can answer.
Okay, say for instance, when Shalonda is saying that she prefers a black man
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to raise her family in black way, it's looked as, oh, she's prejudiced against white people and she doesn't like white men. But then when Jeremy says that he has a preference for black women, it's just looked at that's like what he likes. What's the difference in those statements?
Okay. I can help you. The difference is Jeremy said one and Shalonda said the other.
Facts.
I don't necessarily know that I agree with that.
You disagree with the fact that
I
Jeremy said
disagree
one?
with that. No, the thing is that I feel like Shalonda's looked at like she's prejudiced against it, and I don't feel like she said that.
I don't think so.
That's not what my issue was with what she said. It was more so that you can't raise brown children in a mixed household was kind of the impression that I got.
Well, she says she believes that it'll be harder to raise brown children in a mixed household.
Okay, so listen.
You ever had fried chicken casserole?
You can't run.
No, because only white
Yeah.
folks. See, that's what I'm saying. First of all, anything casserole. Confirm or deny that casserole is a
Macaroni and
a
cheese is
Caucasian
casserole, right?
dish.
Is it macaroni and cheese casserole?
So wouldn't it be natural if it's a geographical thing? If she grew up in a black community, wouldn't it be natural for her to be attracted to black men?
Yeah, that
We
is
all
natural.
grew up in black communities,
That's the point
I just
was
want to
trying
make sure. I just wanted to say that point for clarification for all of the viewers,
Yes, ma'am.
because I think this is a great show and a
Okay.
great topic.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Love your accent.
Okay.
I know her.
Okay.
Okay.
I love her.
Okay, so somehow we keep getting around this Jamal.
That's the plan.
That's not the plan, though. I want to know if you can speak freely on it.
Of course.
Have you dipped your spoon in other flavors than just white, than vanilla?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so is that something you... Okay, I'm be honest. Full disclosure here. Before I was done, I had to taste the rainbow. So I just went around and did.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know what taste of rainbow means.
I mean, I had to have.
I took a world tour though.
I took a world tour.
Same
I had
thing.
to touch every continent at least.
So what happens if a woman takes a world tour?
Come
She's
back,
a
come
filthy
back,
woman.
come back,
She's a
having
filthy
learned
woman.
something.
She's a filthy
Good
woman.
for you.
Come back and stop fishing out. Like,
Okay, so
Hope you
here's
learned
what
something.
here's what I learned.
That's it.
My background, I'm Jamaican, right? So I found that there's a lot of cultures where there's similarities that I would not have seen similarities, which made getting along with them easier than I've originally anticipated, especially through the Hispanic part of the Caribbean, right? And actually, I saw some in East. I spent my parents met in England, so I spent a lot of time in England, and I love Europe, so there's some commonality there. So
I think
it
any,
helps.
I think any person of color from America can relate. I believe the same way with Africans, Jamaicans. I think that people of color from another country are always open to Europeans. They're more exposed to Europeans, and what I believe, not such an ugly life from what we're exposed to. So,
But Europeans, you're
white people.
Oh,
I was trying
okay,
to.
okay. But okay, oh, so you talking about white? Well, okay. Well, I'm just saying. I wouldn't have known that if I closed myself off. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying you only know that because you're Jamaican.
Oh, that's the only reason. Okay, well.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I just think it's easier for
Well, I
Jamaicans
do know.
or
I know
Africans.
I know.
You know what I mean? Versus people that are already here.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to dispute that because that's actually gave me social currency to make inroads in other places. So I will not just fight you on that at all. However, people are interesting. They can turn me. The best way for me to get turned on to a culture is through a lady's vagina. So you go there and she cooks for you and does certain things and shows you how they do it in her world.
Let me ask this question because I've had conversations with black men and I've had conversations with a few and they had that experience where they took a white woman out and they felt like they got the stares and they were in circumstances where they were uncomfortable. Were you ever in a position where you felt like people were gawking or staring or judging you?
I ain't have to feel like it. You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've had it
real,
where
yeah.
I've had to get physical one time in my
Okay.
life.
Oh, wow.
Oh, because
I
of
got
that?
physical one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Because somebody came out real
aggressive,
just real disrespectful, and I handled it.
Isn't that a lot? Isn't that a lot to deal
No,
with when
I
you're...
mean, because now I go out of town. I don't know. Maybe I don't feel it because it's just
been
normal.
so long.
Yeah, it's just normal. But I mean, it was just I've only had a problem one time. I was walking and a group of dudes just I guess they felt some kind of way because of who I was with, so they felt like they had to come out their mouth. And
I never understood that though. I mean, like
I agree with that.
I don't even understand the black women that be upset. Like, okay,
he called it.
Since this is the part of the show where I do my true confessions, I've never actually really been out with a white woman because I can't take the scrutiny. Like, no, they look.
But
they look hard,
so many black men say that.
Right.
I can't take it, right? But I mean, so most of where I knock them down is in a group. Like, so we go happy hour or some other shit. Right?
So you hide. You were hiding your white woman. So he was hiding his white woman back in the day.
No, I mean it wasn't. See, this is what I'm saying. I never really dated.
Come back
like, even when I was single, I never really dated, man. I just see how the night end up, man. I'm the last man standing most nights, so things happen. I never understood the anger toward a black guy from a black woman because to me she wasn't an option. I didn't even know you. Why are you looking at me like she took you? I can see if the white girl took the black guy.
Because you're looking at it on a surface level. I think that people who have something to say, for the example he gave, where a group, I'm assuming white men, said something to you.
Black. I thought it was
black.
Yeah, of course.
That's some black. Wow, of course.
I knew from jump. Like as soon as
so
he
they
said
were mad at her because.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mad at her or mad at you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who they was mad at.
Well, they just mad.
They was all together, and one of them decided, he wanted to be the big dude and say something funny, and
wasn't funny.
He basically was like, "Yeah, you need to get you a girl," and his lip was probably sore for a few days.
Right. I mean, listen, it's a lot to put our ideology on other people. And like I said earlier, I just want people to be happy. But I don't. I think this interracial thing at this point hasn't come as far along as we would like it to go.
I don't think I can bring a white man home.
What would happen?
I don't know. I just don't know if I can.
I think you should try it.
I would be the first. I would be the first woman. Black men do it all the time. I would be the first black woman to do it in my family.
Well, let me say this. Knowing you the way I do, I think anyone close to you would like to see you happy. For a change.
I hear bullshit underneath that for some reason.
No, it's no bullshit. What's wrong with being happy though?
I mean, why is it that why does it have to be that I'm only going to find happiness with someone other than a black man?
No. I'm not saying
y'all
that.
have been reaching
I'm
all
not-
night
No,
long.
we're not
bro.
reaching. We're just listening to
Like,
the
y'all have been reaching.
And you act like I'm trying to
I
tell you go
apologize. That was
exclusively
a
date.
reach. That was a Tiana reach. I agree.
You act like
that was a
we're
reach.
telling you go exclusively date. All I'm
That was
saying
a
is
reach. I agree. I'll take that.
the more options you have, the more options. And there's a lot of white guys that would love to
But I
to
don't
see.
feel like are lacking options.
I don't either.
I just think there's a particular type of man, period. that
Okay,
I stay away from.
let's get to the bottom of this. Okay, I talked to Jeremy about this before the show. The problem with a lot of black women. Yes, I said the problem.
This is not a black woman's issue.
No. With the interracial dating thing, I'm
It's
gonna
not a
say
black woman's
why a lot of you won't go outside of your date is because y'all
There's
are
a lot of black women that he married someone that went outside his right. Come, I'm not. You all are really digging into this stereotype that black women are opposed to dating outside that race. I'm sorry. I think y'all live in a box. There are plenty
My
of
box
black
is big, though.
women
I got a
that
big
date
box.
outside their race.
all inclusive. If you see the goodies in this box, anyway, listen. Black women, so I can finish my statement, are used to they have certain ideals of masculinity, which makes it hard for them to view others in other races as attractive as many in other races as attractive as they view black men.
I don't think masculinity plays a part.
I think it plays a big part.
I don't.
I think the idea of I don't want the wrong word would be thug, but that type of masculinity outwardly, even if they might be undercover gay, which is happening now. That's the reason I'm saying it. That's what draws most black women in. I think their idea of protect is a big deal because you will see women with in other races with men, not Spanish though, but you'll see women in other races with men that don't feel like they can protect
My reasons are a
them.
lot more superficial than that, unfortunately, and I'm going to admit that.
More superficial than that? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
they're
Say more. Do say more.
More superficial than that. I think for me, it's more of a complexion thing.
Would you want your babies to be a certain complexion?
Go ahead.
I'm just not attracted to fair skinned men. I'm not even really attracted to light skinned black men. So the chances of me dating a white man, even I know they're two different. I'm gonna be honest with you. What makes Barack appealing is that he's the president. I think he got some swag, but I'm pretty sure he got that when he became older. Barack was a dork. I'm pretty sure he went all like that back then.
See, but that's the
so
problem.
that's what I'm talking about. As far as what you're talking about, as far as the stereotype and stuff like
You
that.
can't be a dork and go to where do you go, like Harvard or somewhere? Like that's not dork. That's like genius. That's like grooming to be
But
like
you hear
president or
tomato,
something.
tomato.
I
It's
love
not a genius.
I'm gonna tell you why I love Tiana because she spends a lot of time making my point for me.
Whatever.
That's exactly what I meant. Like you see dorks getting action in other one, and then
yeah, by other dorks.
They're
in the same circle. Michelle and Barack were in the same circle. That's how they found each other.
Which also makes my other point about exposure. Is there any other more points you want to make for me tonight?
No, they were in the same. How were
That's
they
the
exposed?
exposure.
They're in
Okay,
the
so
same
for example,
circle.
For example, right? I live in Montgomery County, which is one of the most diverse counties in the country, right? I have friends that live in other places, and they always say, "Man, I'm trying to get me an exotic chick. An exotic? What the hell is exotic? Like, I don't know what exotic means. I know what I mean by exotic, But what they mean by exotic is a chick with smooth hair. You know,
That's what I was just.
That's it.
I swear I was just about
she
to
could
say
be from
that.
Simpson.
Yeah.
And all she gotta do
Oh
is
my
have smooth hair. My
gosh.
definition would be very different. But the problem they have is they can't get one because they don't have exposure to it, and they run rampant out there. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna? I know one thing. In order to screw something, you gotta be able to touch it, right?
Yes.
Maybe we should talk deeper than screw. But no, I mean screw
Yeah,
because
we-
you can
we're
date
talking about
online. You don't ever have to touch
relationships,
it,
not
right?
screwing, right?
Mhm.
So you have to at least be able to smell. It's a scratch and sniff. You got to see if it's real. That's all I'm
You
saying.
messing with him.
So it's not real if I can't touch it. I tell you that much,
I don't
ladies.
Can I go back to what you said about masculinity?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not about masculinity because Jeremy isn't black,
Yes, he is.
but
Mm.
he gives me
He has a full Sunni. Sorry.
he gives me a masculinity vibe.
Mhm.
He does. He
The
gives
type
me,
that you like.
he gives me a protection vibe.
Yeah.
He's not black. So you asked me, was it about masculinity? That's what I'm saying. It's not about masculinity.
Mhm.
Black. Preferring a black man is not about masculinity. It's just not. It's things about black men in particular that attracts me. Their complexion,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking about light skin to dark skin.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter to me. Like smooth skin, all of that just
Mhm.
gets me about a black man. His swag, everything.
That's part of the
The
masculinity
swag
point I was making.
masculinity, I would say so.
That's part of
It's
the
not, but he
because
was
it's a
talking
different
about
type
like
of swag.
masculinity. and
As far as
protection things.
black men appear to be more aggressive, more thorough. That's what I heard from Mark. I hear what
I
Shalon
don't
is
know,
saying,
aggressive.
and that's not what she's saying. That's not.
I mean,
the case.
listen. Okay, so one day.
He trying to say like white men appear to be outside of Jeremy weak and
Yeah,
wimpy looking.
yeah, and that's not the case.
Well, I mean, okay.
You
we-
said
this is a
thug,
show, and we're gonna speak in general terms. We know that white men are like they run the goddamn world, number one. So not gonna be weak and wimpy, right? But if you go and you see some of the ones that end up getting action, they not getting action in our community. They would never, if they were the same type and you painted their skin black, they would not get action in their community.
That's because then that boils down to the culture. It boils down to your circle of people, and then we can take away color at that point if that's what it is.
Okay, so one time in life I had a Malcolm X moment, right? The movie Malcolm X. So after jumping up and down on this young white girl,
Jumping up and
I
down.
rolled over.
Oh,
No,
that's
listen.
him.
I rolled over and I asked her, why do you deal with me? Because she said, of course, it came, and I almost didn't lend it to her because earlier that night she told me she prefers black men, right? So after I rolled over, I had to ask her in my moment of clarity, because that's when I was thinking the most clear, why do you like black men? And it wasn't the reason that most people would assume. What she said to me was that black men, on a whole, that she finds, have a different type of charisma, which
They do.
can be true. But guess what? That's also, you can be acculturated into that because I'm sitting across Jeremy, he got the same type of charisma, right? That's why you get that vibe,
Mhm, that's
that
true.
masculinity. Yeah, so all my points have been made tonight.
You know,
No, because he still threw that word
But I think
masculinity
that-
in it, and it's
I
not
think
the
that
wrong
black women
word.
think that black men treat white women differently.
I do.
I-
White women
I-
get passes. White women get far more passes than a black woman would.
In
As
what way?
soon as we
With the
raise
black
our
man.
mouth, it's like
it's like
the
she
world
got
is
all the
coming
attitude.
to an
and she
end.
right.
But if you get a white chick
Say
who
the same thing.
has that black charisma cussing you out, oh, she cool. She down for the
Mm.
cause.
No, I don't like no
she
Newport
down for
smoking
the
black
cause.
chicks.
She,
Yeah,
she
I agree with
represent
that.
black people.
Yeah, see,
whatever.
I agree with
It's-
that.
I would definitely
I agree with
not
that.
prefer that.
Yeah, if I
had to,
if
I
would-
want a white.
I want a white. If I go, yeah, I got
White,
white. If you want,
I
you
want,
want.
yeah, I want
That's bullshit.
the value.
Yo,
shit.
bro.
Black men
I
get
agree
white
with
women
that.
far
No,
more
They
passes
do.
than they do.
Hey, look.
Black
They
men
do.
are hard
Listen.
as fuck on
I don't
black
give
They
men.
passes
are.
to anybody.
not hard on
Nobody
us?
gets a pass. Like,
No, I'm direct
You're not hard
to
on black men.
my feelings.
You're not hard on black men.
No, not at all. Not as hard as I need to be. I can be much harder
On who?
on black men.
Well, then bring your whip out because that's what the hell you.
we
and
don't
your
have
slave dog-
we don't have enough time. I left it in my purse.
Listen. If you're gonna be white, be white. If you're gonna be Spanish, if I
What
mess
does
with a
that mean?
girl,
Be white.
and if I used to mess with a chick, right, and she had a black friend, I ain't messing with you. Matter of fact, I don't want them in your head.
You
I
see
don't.
the shit? Like
That's
you follow
crazy.
stereotypes. Right, that is crazy.
y'all,
Like,
We all
Y'all have a
like,
total misconception of what goes on, like in my house, in my.
Oh no, I never got that
relationship,
deep. I just had to go.
'cause I don't get no passes. She don't get no passes. Ain't no yelling, screaming, none of that. Like, we
that
don't-
was just an example.
Yeah.
That was just an example.
Yeah. She went to the extreme again. Like, why
That
would there
was
have
just
to be a yelling and screaming? And why
That
do
was
you think
just
we
an
give them a
example.
pass?
I do. I just think that white women get away with far more than. First of all, I think that black men are super, super hard on black women.
Okay.
I think that sometimes the expectations are super, super high.
Well, I will say this. Perhaps. Well, aren't you harder on the ones who got the most potential? Because you're hard on black
So
men.
white women have
I
more
was just-
potential than black women?
Right.
Wait a minute. I said,
Black-
aren't you hardest on the ones
So
that have
black
the most
women have
potential?
more potential. That's what you're saying.
I ain't say nothing.
Did I hear him wrong?
You normally do. And you're actually the closest one to me.
No.
But you normally do.
No.
Are
Okay,
you
well,
saying
whatever.
black women have more potential?
Right.
That's what he
missed it
said.
too.
That's
If-
just what he said.
To me, a black male, a black woman would have more potential, right? But the thing is, everything, and here goes, just, I don't know, I have to make this disclaimer, about to generalize, okay? And stereotype. Everything you say is met with resistance. And I understand where black women are coming from. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
The resistance is just we're constantly in a state of defense mode. I think we're constantly walking around defending ourselves
Exactly.
from the world,
Mhm.
not just black men, just the world in general.
Welcome to life. It happens to black men too. It happens to Jeremy too. Jeremy had to fight somebody.
Jeremy?
Every night, Jeremy got to prove his love. It's like,
I gotta take my gun when I go to Ruby Tuesdays with her and the kids,
yeah.
because I don't know what these redneck gonna try and pull. Like, ain't nothing about it easy.
I mean, this is life. yo.
See,
Welcome
that's
to
what I
it.
mean. It's 2017. He still
But-
got to deal with stuff like that because he dating a white woman.
Well, I don't know if I
That's
got to
what-
deal with it, but
But if
I don't
he got
hide
to
it
deal
very
with it,
much. So
the
gonna
assumption
deal
is you
with it.
may
Like, I'm with
have
whatever.
to.
But I feel like the people at work, my people, the white people at work, look at me differently than they look at the other white people.
Of course.
I really do feel that way.
Of course they
I
do.
really
But-
do
but
feel
do you
that
know-
way, though.
I
And I
mean-
mean, I work in the field. Like, I work construction. I work with my hands. So it's a lot of rednecks. Like, if you hunt, Slim, you good. Your job's good. You know
Right.
what I mean? But yeah, I definitely can see where.
do they know
They
that
might
you
be.
have a black wife?
Yeah,
What they'll never say nothing about that, right?
nah, hell
No
no.
slick shit. Okay.
But I mean, I remember one time I was working with another company and I went to the Christmas party and it did.
Oh God!
It did feel like
I can
the
imagine
DJ
that.
fell over the. Oh,
I
I
can imagine
was like,
that.
whoa.
I can imagine that. Yeah, they were.
But I thought,
surprised.
honestly, I thought everybody knew.
Some
You know what I mean?
assumption.
Most of the people knew.
I,
from what
I wonder
thought.
how that went. Come on, baby.
That's
Put your
so
shoes
funny,
on. We're going to go
yeah.
to this Christmas party. And all of a sudden, the music stopped when y'all walk in the door. She said, don't you ever carry me to the place like
Well,
that again.
we knew some people that she
Okay,
knew
okay.
a couple dudes come over,
Yeah.
watch fights and stuff like that. So she knew they wives, so she was good.
So
I don't
do
think
y'all
she noticed
forgive
it
me?
like I did.
Like, it seems like y'all are mad at. Like, do y'all forgive me?
Well, no, it's
Am
not
I? Is
about
it okay now?
Well,
Did we
for
talk
us-
it out?
No,
Yeah,
for
you
us,
gotta
it's,
apologize.
no. For us, it's about. I think for Shalonda, for me, I think for both Shalonda, it's a matter of preference. We just
Right.
prefer to date
Yo,
men
Google
that
Olivia
date
Jensen and tell me this ain't a crossover, like a Ford Edge. Just leaving y'all with that. Listeners too,
Mhm.
Google Olivia Jensen, bro.
Now,
That's my freebie for the day.
okay, I'm going to make note of that. 'Cause,
Facts.
Yeah.
I'll definitely would do it tomorrow because I feel like I ain't going to do much work at work tomorrow. It's interesting because interracial kids, real quick before I have a few. Donnell, can I get a few extra minutes? Okay, whatever her name is. Damn, what's her name? Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet's child.
Oh, Zoe.
Zoe. Okay. She recently stated that she's just started to get in tune with her blackness.
Okay, I have a problem with that before you go any further.
Okay.
She's nothing but black.
Okay, but both of her parents are mixed.
Oh,
though.
But they're black
But they're
though.
black.
By society
Just like-
standards,
yeah,
they
they're
are
black.
both black.
Okay, but again, the points I was trying to make earlier, the schools and where she lived were predominantly
I
white.
don't give a damn. When she's standing beside a white girl, she's gonna look black.
She said she felt different growing up and people wanted to touch her
She
hair.
no,
and all that.
bitch, you
But she
felt black,
never-
not felt different.
She never.
Right.
See,
Right, that's
some
crazy
folks
to
be on
me.
some other shit. I'm just,
but I mean, okay, so hold
I'm
on,
with
hold on,
you,
hold on,
Tiana.
hold on. We
Okay, I'm
can't
sorry.
identify with what she went through, though.
She don't even know what she identifying to.
All right. Well, the hell with what
How
I
are
was
you
about to say.
almost
That's
30
her parents'
years?
fault, though.
30 years. She's almost. This girl ain't young now.
She's
out
28.
here,
She's
right,
28.
almost 30 years old, and you're just now.
She didn't even have the background. She said her father urged her to get deeper into her roots because both of her parents are half black, and she said that she didn't feel black initially.
She chose
a couple
the
years
side.
ago because she didn't
She chose the
identify
side.
with Tyler Perry movies.
She
And
chose
if
that.
that-
I don't identify.
Me neither. I
That's
don't.
bullshit.
That's the, matter of fact, I have the quote.
Wow.
Black exploitation 2000. Tyler Perry.
She didn't
Is
really
Tyler
say
Perry
that.
expanded to being black or something? I
Right, he's
don't
a
understand.
safe. Oh, real black.
He's a safe brown guy. Like
Hold on.
he's
my
a safe.
God.
Okay, here it goes. The problem apparently for Zoe was that she was not entrenched with her black roots growing up. So as an adult, she's been having difficulties with understanding and connecting with the African American side of her being. However, she says her dad has been pushing for her to become more in tune with her black heritage. Zoe, quote, racism is very real and white supremacy is going strong. I'm definitely mixed. Both my parents are mixed. I have white family on both sides.
Mixed. I'm sorry.
I think it says here that she's mixed. And both of her parents are mixed. The older I get, the more experience
Is there some
life
type of racial
I am identifying
equation?
more and more with being black. And what that means, being more proud of that and feeling connected to my roots and my history. It's been a really interesting journey because I was always one of the only black kids at any of my schools. I went to private schools full of white kids. That's why I was talking about culture and exposure, right? I think a lot of that made me blend in and not be looked at as black. The white kids are always talking about my hair and making me feel
What?
weird. It has
If
a
there
struggle
was-
of
Shut up.
accepting myself as black and loving that part of myself.
Hold up,
And
man.
now I'm in love with my
I
culture.
raised my
Thank
hand
you.
So
on this
proud
one.
to be black.
Stacy Dash 2.0.
Girl, bye.
Hold on. I gotta speak on
Raven
this,
Simone
right?
like a
Girl,
mug.
bye. How
She's confused.
that
Well,
doesn't make sense.
she's playing the safe role, right? She wants to know about the history and all of that. She don't want to learn about what's
No.
going on today.
Well, gotta
She
go
doesn't
through
want to be
struggle.
black enough that she got to deal with any of the issues we got to deal with on a regular basis. Just black enough to be able to do this and wear the medallion and all that. Like she playing with it.
She is playing with
So,
it. She's
I mean,
definitely
look,
playing with it.
Hey, Lisa
newfound-
Bonet's
That
got a
doesn't
white
make
dude
sense.
right now, right?
No, he's black.
No, that dude that's on the big
He's
Samoan
not
or
white.
whatever.
He's some wow.
Who?
I wouldn't call him white.
Is
He's
he
not
black?
white.
He ain't black. He got that
not-
luxurious
He's
hair.
not
and-
white.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, her newfound understanding
All that.
is a great improvement from where she was 2 years ago. In 2015, she was trying to get in touch with her roots, but she admitted that not too long before that, she felt detached from being black because she didn't like Tyler Perry movies and such.
She just ignorant for saying
She's
that.
ignorant
Like,
for saying
seriously?
that.
Okay, look, okay,
Why
so
would you?
here it goes, right? You can be ignorant for saying something because you're ignorant. Ignorant means you don't know. She didn't
Right.
know. She can't help that. Ignorance is not a crime, it's just a shame.
So do you think
What
that
would
she's
you say?
possibly, she may need to learn her heritage first before she can identify what's going on now?
Nah, I think she needs to find a better way to become relevant.
Ooh,
I know
yeah.
that's right.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
what's her last name? Me either.
Yeah.
well,
Maybe she'll call in next time I'm
Oh,
there.
okay, so Jason Momoa, he is German, Irish, and Native
white.
American.
That's pretty white to
He's
me.
white.
He is white.
Yeah.
Facts.
Somebody's
Oh, he's so tan.
Oh, it's Zoe.
And my baby daddy.
Good evening, caller. He say, she say.
Hey, this is Chris. How y'all doing?
Hey, who is this?
Kristen.
Chris,
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. What's up, Jeremy?
What's that?
Me and Jeremy went to school together.
Okay.
We kind of was brought up the same way. But see, the reason I'm calling is because some of the experiences that some people on the panel have had, like when Shalonda was saying, it's 2017 and you still got to go with a gun to a restaurant. I get it on the opposite side. I get it all day, every day from black women. Now, 25 years ago, I got it from the white community. I got all the issues and all the problems. But as much as we don't want to think this, white people have really evolved. They're not saying too much anymore. I'm getting it from the other side.
You have completely been living underneath a rock, girl. Bye.
Just because
There's
they're
just
not saying
absolutely
anything.
no way.
Hold on. This, if she doesn't.
I want to see where this
I'm
is
sorry.
going. Yeah, I want to see where this
that
is
struck
going.
a
This might get
chord.
good.
She's on
That
the
struck
phone?
a chord with
That's
me.
all right.
I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
I
I believe
I
apologize.
believe she's
I
speaking
apologize.
from her personal
From
From
her,
her,
go ahead,
circle.
continue,
From
sweetheart.
From her
personal
community.
experience. Yeah.
Continue, sweetheart.
Because the
Go ahead.
news that tell you white folks ain't evolved. But I'm
All right.
sorry.
All
I
right.
apologize.
All right. We have to be hospitable.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Chris.
Chris,
But
continue.
really, I'm trying, until you've been in a situation I'm in, you can't tell me. My grandmother was with a black man before she could even legally marry him. White people put my family through hell. Now today, these same white people are embracing my children when my black mother-in-law don't want nothing to do with them. So I'm getting it from the opposite side now. I'm coming up. I heard my grandmother called all kinds of in-lovers and whores and everything for what she did. Now those same people are here embracing my family, but I'm getting it from the other side. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard, especially when you read the comments and people say, "Oh, biracial kids, they black, one, drop a black blood." No, you can't. Until you're raising biracial children, you can't tell nobody what their kids are.
Society has already told you what your children are.
Yeah.
But society has said a lot about black people that's not true or correct. So why are we going to use society?
But only a black
You
person
feel
can
me?
speak for
Like
that.
their stereotype of black people as thugs and everything else. That's wrong. Society is wrong for that. Just as wrong to tell a biracial child, "Oh, you're black."
It's not,
Hey,
when you filling
it's
out
Chris,
a job
right?
application,
Chris, I, and it's nothing about what you're saying. Like, I dig the story and everything, but like this biracial thing, you are what a police officer is gonna call
That's
you when he tell you to
right.
get your ass out the car.
That's right.
And I'm just keeping that a buck and funky with you because I have to instill that in my black children, my black boys. You're not going to be treated on the same accord as some of your counterparts, whether it's right or not. You're going to have to play the game a little bit differently.
Well, but you're raising biracial children.
I'm raising
for those
black
people
children.
who aren't. Well, you're raising black children, but for those people
And
who
that's cool.
aren't, you can't tell biracial children that they're not biracial.
Like that. Their mother had them, Slim. They lived in their mother.
So I'm going to tell y'all a little tidbit real quick, right? So both of my children were premature. They were both 2-pounders. Do you know what the nurse in the NICU told me? The only reason they survived is because you're black.
wow.
So
The highest survival rate is black female babies that are premature, and then black male babies, and then everybody else.
So white premature babies die?
Fuck ass yeah, especially the men. They die first.
Is there a reason behind that?
I'm not a scientist,
You said that
but
to say what?
my children are black. Like the nurse told me. The
yeah,
doctor
I
told
have
me
to say
this.
this.
So.
I'm slightly disappointed in tonight because this shit should have happened 30 minutes before. Now we get into the good stuff.
Because we were earlier talking about on the levels of dating and getting into relationships.
Yeah, but this is the stuff
This is
I
a little
like though,
deeper.
man.
Yeah.
My
To
man
be
said,
to be
hey,
continued.
Darnell, what he said again? Keep it a buck and funky.
Oh, yeah, my
and
bad.
if I steal that,
A bucket
won't be on the show. I'm gonna steal it.
Mixtape coming soon.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question because Chris, she's white. And it seems like the two of you have the same perspective as far
Chris,
as
you still there, babe?
comes with your. I thought she hung up.
Chris, you still here?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Go ahead. You take
It seems like you both have the same perspective as far as how you identify your children. You flat out say your children is biracial because you don't want your children to deny one or the other. He's saying his children are flat out black. And I guess I need to understand why you see it the way you see it and why you see it the way you see it.
Okay. My children we've lived in all black communities. We lived in diverse communities. And when my children were in those all black communities, those other children knew my children were black and they made it known. Just like when we lived in the white communities, the white children they knew my children weren't all white and they made it known. So when they got it, see, when you're black, you don't get it from both sides. But when you're biracial, you get it from the black side and you get it from the white side. So my husband instills in him what he knows of his culture, and I do the same for my culture. Like, my children have went through it in the black community, and my children have went through it in the white community. Having to explain to my children that their grandmother don't get down with them because they're biracial, it's hard. It's hard. But I've also had family members who don't mess with my family because my children are biracial. And we just have to be real with them. So I'm not going to say, okay, you guys are black when they're getting it from both sides and they know they're not just black or just white. That's just me. You can raise your children how you want to, but the problem I have is the people who aren't raising black children who are saying, y'all black because society say. Because society say a lot of rude things about minorities that we know is not true. You know, and so we want to get rid of those stereotypes. That's how I feel about it.
Okay. Now,
Fair
Chris.
enough.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for calling. I gotta let
Thank
you go because we'll be
you.
closing the show pretty soon. But you need to come up here. Hope you're feeling better too.
Yeah, I really wanted to be there. I didn't get home till today, but I'm hoping y'all will do a segment like this again, and I would like to be up there.
Okay, good. Now, are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm just on bed rest until the baby.
So you're on bed rest, calling
Yeah.
in, fussing about interracial
You
relations.
got
Go
a
to
little
bed, girl.
biracial kid in
You
you?
know that.
Little Nicky, little Nicky.
You fussing. You all getting all animated. Then all of a sudden your husband go come up there and drive up the beltway. No. Good night.
Good night.
You were shaking your head on something that you remember what it was that you were.
I don't feel like my kids are suffering from either side.
Right.
You feel what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
My kids,
You've controlled your
good.
household.
Yeah,
Your household.
my kids are good. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe my kids. I go to the school. Man, it's probably majority. I live in Waldorf. It's probably majority black, but there's probably 30% biracial children. So the kids already know. You know what I mean? They live in a household like that. Now, I know that my kids will have to. They will be seen as black. I get that, but you're not gonna steal my piece of what I'm giving them and tell them that they all black because, like I said, I do the raising, so I do most of the stuff. I got boys. I got twin boys. They totally different. One does sports, one don't do sports.
So
One would
Kiani,
love to be here because he loves making videos. He would love this, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Kiani
This is
Drew
his thing.
says, "Well, the father determines the race."
I don't agree with that either.
Okay.
That's probably scientific though.
Right. Scientific, right?
Yeah. I don't think you can agree.
Because
No.
I mean, a funny story that kids say the wildest things. I just turned 40, right? On my 40th birthday, I had to explain to one of my sons the whole process of everything because he's been asking lately. My son asked me, "How does mommy's stomach know that you're white?"
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Huh?" He said, "Well, I'm biracial. Mommy's black. So how did her stomach know to make me half white like you? You know what I mean? Give me your
Oh my
side."
God, kids do too much.
Hey,
I wouldn't know what to do.
I would've said,
Oh
what
my
did you
God,
say?
right. I would have ran.
So we went through it before, and like he said, "Oh, so it's fluids." So I wrote that one off. Yeah, it's fluids. We exchanged
yeah,
fluids.
it's done.
But then we came back, so I ended up having to explain. I told him, I was like, "Look, you know what I mean? We married, we had sex, and through sex, this is what happens." So
I would gladly trade that conversation I had to have with my 4-year-old for that one. Because I had to explain to him what the Confederate flag was about, since it's so
see.
prevalent where we live. Like, when you see this flag pull up to somewhere where you or your little brother are, you grab your little brother's hand and you go home and you come get me. These are the conversations I had to have with my 4-year-old.
Right.
Not because they are going to be considered biracial or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
your
because
situation. I wouldn't
they
even-
nick,
What do you
yeah,
have?
I wouldn't
Oh, you
even
can put the
they,
veins.
yeah, they
So
consider
it's-
niggas where we live, just like they daddy. So
See?
So it's similar to how Kristen expressed her circumstances on her end. I mean, she's dealing apparently with racism on both sides, on both the
Mhm.
black and the white side.
Depending upon where she lives. is what
Yeah,
she
probably
said.
where she lives.
But,
Y'all better
Like I
leave
said,
it
I don't
in
ever
country.
think that. I've always
Cut
heard
to
that.
the
My
city.
best friend growing up was mixed, and his dad, I never knew his dad. He was like my brother. His mom, white lady. You would have never known his brother and sister were mixed. They didn't even look mixed. My friend, he looked mixed, and they identified themselves as black. I mean, his mom told me she took him to school one day, and he hid in the car. She said, "What you doing?" He was like, "I don't want nobody to see you drop me off at school because you white."
Okay.
He said that to his own mom.
Did he get a whooping for that?
Nah, his mom. was
I remember one
way too
time-
soft for that.
I remember one time my sister said, this happens. I think this happens in a lot of black households. Something was on TV and she uttered out loud. She made the mistake of saying she wished she was white. And my father said, "Do what?" She got the whipping. I knew never to say that. She's 2 years older than me. So as soon as that came out of her mouth,
I would love to understand the experiences for certain people because me growing up, I identified with everything that was black, unless it was
Me
a
too.
cartoon or something. to the point where if I was insulted if I got like a white doll baby or something like that when I was little. I'm like, what is this thing? It'd be gone the next day. So, and I don't know if it's because, again,
That's why you don't value shit now.
Why did I toss the white baby out?
No, because you're throwing away gifts.
Well, anyway,
go ahead.
I don't know how to identify with anything other than being what I am. Like, I don't know the feeling of wanting to be darker or wanting to be lighter, or that's a struggle that I don't really wish on nobody.
Yes. I don't know if this is a good get off point, but I think unfortunately we ran out of time a little while ago, and this was actually got pretty good to me, and I'm sad that we're running out of time. But I do have a solution.
No, you don't. You have an opinion.
I have a solution for Shalonda and Tiana.
That's an opinion.
What is this?
It's a suggestion. It's not a solution.
Okay, suggestion. Take it as a suggestion. You are aware that people are marrying themselves now, right? Women.
I saw that.
It's called sologamy.
I saw that.
Right? So if the secret to a happy marriage is finding the right person, we can all stop looking, at least according to polygamists. They're part of a growing relationship trend in which people are tying the knot to themselves.
That's why people stay.
Now, I want to let you guys know.
I'm sorry.
That was really racist.
It was racist. Okay, you the only white folks doing that shit. Stop.
The woman in this article was white.
Of course.
But I will say this.
Of course she was.
I'm gonna read this article, then I'm gonna give you a quick little anecdote, then we're gonna get the hell off this show. Erica Anderson is one of them. Quote, I would describe it as women saying yes to themselves. It means that we're enough.
She's a feminist.
Even if we are not partnered with someone else.
She's a feminist. And probably a lesbian.
It's because she ain't mowed her lawn in 2 years.
Right? She got
a bid like.
There you go.
She probably got a lot of money.
Like Jerm.
She walked down the aisle. No one was waiting for her, and that's just the way she wanted it, which sounds like bullshit. She grew tired of people asking her why she was still single, so in front of family and friends,
married herself.
She married herself.
Like an idiot.
Right after.
But are you guys tired of getting asked that?
No, nobody asked me that.
Oh, they know why.
Most people really don't mind my business like that.
No, they know why you're single.
Self-marriage
Self-marriage or sologamy is growing, partly because it's popping up in pop culture. Like when an episode of Sex and the City floated the idea. The movement has gone global, and companies are trying to capitalize.
That shit ain't going global. They trying to make it go global.
Hey, listen. You don't understand women. You don't date them. Marry yourself.
I am a woman. We are women, though.
That doesn't mean you have any insight into it.
Oh, gee.
You don't have insight.
Don't
Marry Yourself in Canada offers consulting and wedding photography. There's also IMarriedMe.com, launched by San Francisco man Jeffrey Levine. His site offers polygamy ceremony kits, which includes wedding band, daily affirmation cards, and vows.
Yeah.
That's a hustle.
Who needs a cameraman?
I think it's
that's what I was about to
That's a hustle.
bang that off.
Trying to make single women feel better about
themselves. It's increased over the years. It's something that's becoming more understood and more accepted. Anderson married herself to celebrate independence and believes others should too. Quote,
you're already independent.
Anderson exclaimed. Anderson just celebrated her 1 year anniversary with a solo trip to Mexico. She said even though she's married to herself, she's dating and open to marrying another person.
So
after all,
she cheated on herself. She cheated on herself.
She didn't have no friends to go with her.
Here's what I want to say. Women, I want to say this. Aren't you guys tired of being targeted for bullshit?
Oh my God.
Well, you got stupid ass women like this writing this stupid shit.
Listen. You think she's in the minority?
Yes, she is. That's why I said dumbass article.
In the minority of what? Of going through with this or being stupid?
Both.
I think there's way more stupid people in the world than there are smart people. That's why. Yeah.
I want to ask a question.
Oh yeah. Answer the question, Jay.
Somebody asked basically like, what is white culture? What do white people talk like? White culture. Okay. So I got Italian in my blood. So that would be, you would study like the Italian culture. Like my grandmother passed that down to me, is what I take it. I don't know American white culture. We all know, I don't want no parts of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I would say like you could be like of Irish heritage and they have certain cultures about Irish, Italian, like the different European. I don't think there's a white culture.
Well,
like,
I think there's a difference
like you know what I
in
mean,
the words you
Caucasians
just
unite.
said.
I don't think that that's a thing.
I think there's culture
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't
there's
think that's a thing.
heritage. And I think we all, regardless of what color we are, need to know our heritage. You know what I
Casserole's
mean?
pretty white. I mean,
Who?
casserole. I think every white
That's
person's
what-
had
that's what
casserole.
everybody-
Casserole. Oh,
The only casserole that I know of is the green bean.
Lasagna?
That's the
Facts.
only joint that we ever had in our house.
There you go.
Lasagna?
Is that a casserole?
Anything you
Casserole.
cook in that dish is a casserole, right?
No,
Let's
lasagna is
Google it.
lasagna.
Lasagna is lasagna. That's
And
a
macaroni is
salad.
macaroni.
Lasagna is
Somebody called
casserole.
macaroni and cheese casserole.
That's not a casserole.
Lasagna is a casserole.
While we're busy pontificating,
Or white,
say it's
or the
lasagna.
difference between white and black delicacy.
we gotta go. We gotta go. I don't want it to end. I feel bad, man. I like the panel we have.
Well, let's read this. Actually, he actually made a good point. The difference between heritage, tradition, and culture is something that comes or belongs to one by reason of birth. Tradition is the handling down of statements, beliefs, legends, customs, information. I agree with that. So I do think there's a difference between culture and heritage.
And I think there's a difference between marrying yourself and just being single.
Don't nobody
and
care
alone.
about that dumb lady.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, to some of y'all, that's gonna become an option pretty
No,
soon.
thank you.
it won't.
All right. Listen, ladies.
We got options out.
ladies.
We out here.
I'm just saying, open the option.
We out
Jared,
We out here.
promise me this. Promise me this. Before you marry yourself,
Jeremy said we out here.
before you marry
We
yourself.
marry somebody like Jeremy.
Yeah.
You damn right.
All right. That's all.
I agree with that.
We've had progress.
I
Fried
agree.
chicken casserole.
All that we did tonight
I agree with that.
was not for nothing, because we had a breakthrough moment. Tiana finally had a breakthrough
I
moment.
agree with that.
Before she marries herself, she's gonna go find herself another. But Jeremy, you can't clone yourself, so we might have to wait till your sons grow up.
My brothers will
We might have to wait till your sons grow
Nah,
up.
they need Wonder Bread white. They need full pasty sunblock white, yo. Like you gotta go all the way.
Anyway,
Can't
please
go
sign
with a
off.
Jeremy. No Sunni, just a regular partner side and everything.
I
Come
think
over.
I got that now though.
Yeah.
I just developed that at like 38. I said, you know what? I'm going. I started looking at these the beds with the heck. I said, I'm getting that. I got the joint. I got the little pod.
Look, and then 3 hours later, he had a full bed. You know
Hours
what I mean?
later.
Okay, so we gotta sign out, guys. So,
All right, y'all. Thank you guys for coming
I
out.
want everybody to individually say goodbye and say their date and preference before we leave. Jeremy.
All right, bye. I don't date.
All right. Shalonda,
See you later, family.
can we get your date and preference?
My dating preference is whomever I'm happy with.
Oh, we made a little progress.
Oh,
We got a little.
Jamal.
Bye. I ain't changing nothing for nobody. I'm the same way I am when I came in here, so keeping it funky.
She
Tiana.
changed up after sitting
I'm
next
gonna
to me,
love
too.
anybody who's gonna love and take care of me.
Thank you.
Aw.
Jesus.
You know what?
I mean, like really take care of me.
Oh, Jesus does.
So he might be.
Okay, all right,
He might
well,
have to be white. I'm just playing.
I'm
Good
gonna tell
night.
you
That
this.
was a joke.
You know what?
I'm Mark, and my dating preference is still open to be changed. So, ladies,
You know what?
inbox is open. Good night.
Sliding it in.
DM.